Aboro Aboye. Today I want to continue our conversation around Orisha lifestyle as an element that not only transforms our lives individually, but also comes to permeate our entire culture. You know, every dimension of our community. And when I think about this question of our community and some of the things that ail us, some of the things that are really obstructing our ability to have fulfilling lives and really express ourselves completely, I keep coming back to this impact of colonization. And people talk about colonization as though it were something that only existed in the distant history, in the distant past. But I want to challenge that, and I want to challenge it by just driving home how important it is to understand that economy drives culture, y'all. It's the economy that you live in that defines what kind of culture you have. If you live in an agrarian economy, or a jungle economy, or you live in an industrial economy, or you live in a socialist economy, those things are going to define your culture. You cannot get around it, all right? Because the economy is going to define your movement. It's going to define your value system. We are living within a capitalist economy here in the United States. It's capitalist. So you cannot escape the impacts and the influences of capitalism, right? Now, one of the real driving forces of capitalism is ownership. Ownership. Your ID, the legal system, and all of that stuff is all to contain and manage ownership and transference of ownership. All right? So think about it. Your birth certificate, your ID, your driver's license, your insurance, blah 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 blah. All that stuff is helping to track ownership. All right. But we have, through the colonial experience, also people who have never been owners. You got people who have been denied ownership, had ownership yanked out of their hands, all kinds of stuff, right? You have a whole white supremacist system, a slave system, plantation system that systematically and deliberately prevent certain people from having ownership and enjoying ownership and being able to protect their ownership. Okay? What that leaves in the wake of just living life 300, 400, 500 years in this capitalist kind of an environment is, for many people of African descent, the closest thing that we can get is a sense of entitlement, right? And entitlement, when I say entitlement, what I'm talking about is the idea that somebody somewhere owes me something, right? And as a result of that, I'm going to just go and take mine in whatever way that I can until I feel satisfied, right? And I'm justified in doing so because of, a variety of things. We can go back and we can say Jim Crow. We can say segregation, and we can go back, right? And we can look at the contemporary world that we live in, and we can identify all these different reasons why, you are justified in feeling like, entitled, right? But at the same time, when you're an owner, you know that problems don't get solved by making demands. You don't just get to come in and say that somebody owes me this, and that's going to make a change. You can't just pout or bully or have a fit or complain. Those things aren't going to create the desired outcomes. When you take ownership of something, you realize that you are responsible for what happens. Either you're going to have to do it yourself, or you're going to have to enable somebody else to do it, or you're going to have to work with somebody or a group of other people to co-create something. But the only way you're going to have the desired outcome is by participating in creating that with other people who are there. You have to establish a new way of communicating and basically making agreements. Okay? And that's what the Orisha Lifestyle Retreat is all about. I'm really calling out to all of the people who are a part of the tradition and part of the practice and see the problems. You know, when we look at spiritual colonization and we look at some of those issues that result from the colonial experience, the distortion of our relationships between men and women, the relationships between heterosexuals and homosexuals, the impact of race, right, and class, and national identity. All of these things are part of the equation. They're there to stay. But quite honestly, we're not going to be able to solve those problems from a position of entitlement. Nobody is going to be able to create any kind of change based on the sense of entitlement. No matter what camp you come from, no matter what your politics are, no matter what you believe, entitlement is not going to create the solution. Okay? We've got to step into ownership. We've got to stop acting like guests in the house of Orisha, who people are just supposed to come and wait on us and bring us a towel and you know, change the light bulbs for us. And that's not what's going to happen. We need to take ownership of the house. And that means being fully responsible for everything that happens, from bottom to top, from front to back. Okay, and that if that speaks to your condition, if you are nodding your head and saying, yup, then I want you to go to orishalifestyle.com/retreat. I want you to look at that description. I want you to click on, you know, buy now or donate or whatever the button says. Join this retreat. We need you to be there, because we're going to accumulate the best ideas and the best practices. And the retreat is just a kickoff. That's where we start. Included in the fees for your tuition at this retreat is also an 8-week conference call series. 8 consecutive weeks where we methodically and systematically go through, step by step, how we're going to continue to build upon and improve the agreements and the systems that we establish at this retreat. So please, if this is really making sense to you, if this is speaking to your condition right now, don't delay. Don't think, you know, make up some excuses to why you can't do it. Visit orishalifestyle.com/retreat. Tell 10 people. Come as a group. 3 people come and the 4th goes for free. All right? I want to fill the room with the best thinkers and the best doers so that we can improve upon the problems, and we won't be looking back. Won't it be a shame for us to look back 5 years from now? 10 years from now? 20 years from now? Won't it be a shame for us to look back and say, man, the exact same problems that were pervasive back in 2015 are still plaguing us? Right? Because if you look back to 1985, you look back to 1990, 1995, so many of the same problems that we were suffering from then, we're suffering from them with equal intensity today. We haven't really made it our business to create solutions, the best solutions to these common and pervasive problems. Let's put an end to that. Let's live the medicine that will really heal our lives and heal the lives of the people that we're destined to serve. Aboro aboye, aboshishe.